Supervisor Neely, thanks so much for coming down here to Hasmeans to speak with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And if you'd like just to go over for the folks at home and on the internet, what you feel your accomplishments have been in over 2 decades on the Board of Supervisors.
Well, thank you, Charles. I guess I would start by saying when I was elected to the board, it was really an honor. I'm only the 3rd woman to ever be elected, and I was really encouraged by Supervisor Sarah Parsons to make sure I signed up for things that were tough and not just get assigned issues like keeping the courthouse clean or making sure to plant nice flowers in the garden. So I really jumped in and tried to take on a lot of more complicated and difficult tasks. And I'm happy to say that since I've been on the Board of Supervisors, I've also had the pleasure of serving in 3 state offices. I've served as Vice Chair of the California Board of Forestry and Fire Protection. I've served and still serve on the California Coastal Commission. I'm currently the chair of that. And I also serve on the California Coastal Conservancy, which is the group that gives a lot of money for trails and access to coastal areas. So those are some other things that I've tackled. Since I've been supervisor, I've worked on a lot of projects here in Eureka. The one I think I'm most proud of is the library. And we actually pursued monies, bond monies in Sacramento to get monies for libraries. We were one of the first 15 funded in the state of California. We raised about $2 million here locally in matching funds. And as you can tell by looking at that facility, it really is a great place. And we provide free library service for Eureka citizens. We are the branch library for Eureka. Also was instrumental and was part of the team that went after the monies for the new jail. We've also gone after monies from Sacramento for the Wellness Center, for the regional facility, which is connected with Juvenile Hall, for the renovation of the building and the retrofit at 5th and F Streets in Eureka. And so those are some of the projects that I've worked on in Eureka. I've also, as a coastal commissioner, worked to get permits for the Mad River Bridge, which is in the coastal zone, the Alton Overpass, which is also in the coastal zone, and the permits for PG&E to decommission the nuclear power plant out in Fields Landing and also to build a new facility there. That's a big project. They also did a big toxic cleanup on the site when they applied for their permits for those other 2 issues. And so I've continued to try to work in my capacity as a local government person and also as a state person to make sure we get our fair share of the money and we pay prevailing wages and we make things happen in our community.
And what would you say you're looking forward to doing with an extra term there on the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors?
The big thing that I would like to do, Charles, is to finish the general plan. And I think I've been one of the most outspoken advocates for updating the general plan. It's been a bit of a struggle because of budget reductions. We've had to cut back on monies that for outside consultants to assist and had to do it mostly in-house. But we've also added some elements that I think are important. Excuse me. We added the water element, and I was instrumental in adding that to the discussions because I think we should be in control of our water source and also in control of water quality here in Humboldt County. We've added the energy element, and that is so that we're in compliance with state law with AB 32. We need a climate action plan countywide. We had some help putting that element together, but it also has to go out for all of the citizens of Humboldt County to review. And so those are a couple of things that real reasons that I want to stay on the board and serve is to not only to finish the general plan, but also to use my expertise and my connections to make sure that Humboldt County still gets its fair share of the dollars that were needed for jobs and for public projects. And I think that you get those things by the connections you have with Sacramento and with Washington, D.C., and I'm happy to say that I have been endorsed by our Assembly Member Wesley Chesbrough, by former Assembly Member Patty Byrd, by Assembly Member Noreen Evans, who's chair of the Budget Committee for the Assembly, and also by our Congressman Mike Thompson.
Evan's going to be our next state senator by all appearances too, of course.
She is actually working on that. I attended an event for her on Friday, which was very well attended. She gave a great speech, and she's also an attorney. She and I serve on the Coastal Conservancy together. That's one of the reasons why I know her and have already endorsed her, and she me. But I think she'll be a great asset to the North Coast.
How would you describe in general your vision for economic development in Humboldt County and how the local government can really try to bring that about?
Well, I think that, like I said, the one way to bring in jobs to Humboldt County and prevailing wage jobs is to make sure that we go after the infrastructure monies and the monies like we've got for bond monies for the library to make things happen here. We have been successful in Humboldt County of getting $65 million for water infrastructure. This is for the 7-county plan that Jimmy Smith has been working on and been really instrumental in chairing that commission. We were second in the state of California in our applications for that money. When we actually get down to the project level, when things are being built, it's really going to present a lot of job opportunities for people who live here.
Well, one element of economic development, of course, is the Headwaters Fund Board that controls that Headwaters Fund. It's come under some criticism for subsidizing flights to Salt Lake City, other stuff that isn't seen as benefiting, say, the working man or those sort of displaced timber workers that the fund was set up to hopefully re-employ. What would you describe as the accomplishments of the Headwaters Fund, and what more do you think it can do to promote re-employment here?
Well, I think the Headwaters Fund was really a great gift for Humboldt County. I'm the supervisor that testified in Washington, D.C. at the Congressional Subcommittee hearing with the idea that if they were going to take the Headwaters Forest out of our economy and preserve it, that was fine, but we needed some mitigation monies to offset the loss to our economy. And so we were able to get $10 million out of the federal government and $13 million out of the state. We actually got 15 out of the state, but $1 million was taken right off the top for the railroad. And I think those monies are really making a difference for us here. They really are, they provide us with the ability for economic development. We first set up loan accounts. We contract with Redwood Regional Economic Development Commission and Arcata Economic Development Commission. They do the loans to small businesses, and that's for retaining jobs in existing businesses, for creating new jobs, and for job training. We've done a lot of that, and I think that's all good for our economy here. We also have the infrastructure account, and we've loaned monies like to the city of Rio Dell for their water and sewer system, and we've loaned monies to do the terminal upgrade at the airport, and also we've loaned monies, just matching monies. Say we loan $500,000 to the airport, and they pay us back with interest, but we're able to leverage another $9 million in improvements to the airport, and those monies will be used to do a new runway for the airport and bring us up to safety standards of the federal government.
Where do you come down on that, on property rights versus ecological, sustainable developments and folks being close to their jobs and transit hubs and that sort of thing?
I think that for me, there are 4 different options in the general plan: A, B, C, and D. A is the most environmentally sensitive, has the least impacts on the environment. B has a little more flexibility. It allows for, to make a call on a case-by-case basis about what you can do in areas, rural areas and urban, but the focus is more on smart growth and being close to infrastructure. C is pretty much anything goes with development and private property rights. And then D is pretty much the status quo. It's exactly what the situation is now in terms of the general plan. Excuse me. For me, I would say that I'm looking mainly at the policies in options A and B. I am more of a person that supports smart growth and sustainable growth. I do not support sprawl. I would like to see, and we've included this in our housing element, policies that mix housing in with commercial development, create town centers, not sprawling centers that carry on for miles and miles. So I'm more into the options A and B and C and D.